about promoting, like going on to Eurosong, potentially representing Ireland at Eurovision. So I guess first things first, how long has this been something that Wild Youth have wanted to pursue?
I've always loved the Eurovision. I've always watched it, and I'm a big fan. But I remember when I tweeted, being straight up honest, I wasn't like totally sure. I just kind of tweet random things, and then like it got printed in a news article, and people started talking about it, and they tagging like Michael Keeley from RTE underneath, and then I was like, people were like, "Would you do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I would." And I was like, maybe we should just try and do it. You know what I mean? I was like, and from everything that happened, and the more people asked me, I was like, yeah, I'd absolutely do it. And then it just kind of stemmed from there.
Nice. So you mentioned that you've always been sort of a big Euro fan. You've always enjoyed watching Eurovision. What would you say your favorite Eurovision song is, if you had to name one?
Irish. I'm just gonna say Johnny Logan, Hold Me Now.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. The staging, yeah. My dad would want me to say it. It feels right.
So we have to put this out on Phoenix so that your dad can see it and approve.
Absolutely. And then I think it's between three.
Okay, yeah, you can name all three if you want.
They're probably recent because probably the most recent performances in my mind. I love Maneskin's entry.
Yes.
Duncan Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved Lorraine Euphoria.
Oh my God, yeah, that is a classic. Absolute classic.
Yeah.
They're all classics, actually. All the ones you've picked are really
Yeah, but then also there's like Spain last year, that was so good.
Slow-mo.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm terrible with names, but I'm sure you'll pick up on that.
No, it's fine. No, don't worry. I don't expect anyone to eat, sleep, and breathe this contest as much as we do.
Spain, Ukraine were brilliant. Sam Ryder was so good.
Mm-hmm.
There's also who was the country? Who was the country at that time? It's like, baby, I just need to know.
Oh, Iceland 2020. The contest that never happened. They probably would have won.
That song was amazing.
I know, I felt really bad for them because that song probably would have won, but then obviously it was 2020, so that COVID happened.
Yeah.
I saw Davy Frey, the Iceland representative. I saw him live in Sheffield last year, and he was amazing. He was so good live. But also probably the tallest man I think I've ever seen in person.
What height?
6'10", apparently.
What?
Yeah. And the thing was, like, I'm really short. I'm 5'3", and I was like in just a sea of tall people at this gig. Like, could barely see anything, but I could see him like easily. I was way back, could still see him. Like he was like, the ceiling was there, and then he was like there. Like, he is probably the tallest man I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's really tall. I know someone that's like 6'7" or 6'8", and I'm like, they're tall.
Yeah, so 6'10" is like mythical status. Yeah. Honestly, genuinely couldn't believe it. I was like,
yeah,
whoa, okay, hi. Yeah, I didn't need to worry about seeing him for the rest of the gig, no matter where I was. You talked about obviously Johnny Logan being Hold Me Now being your favorite Irish entry. It may be the same, it may be different, but if Wild Youth had to pick any Irish Eurovision sort of entry to cover in sort of Wild Youth style, what do you think you'd pick and why?
Yeah, I think Johnny Logan, In Your Eyes, and Rock and Roll Kids, well, it would be one of those.
Maybe you could do like a little Wild Youth medley of all three of them.
Eurovision mashup.
Yes, maybe you should just do that anyway.
Exclusive on Phoenix.
Yes, it's a Phoenix exclusive. We've had a few of those.
I'm down.
Yeah, definitely. I think you should. So, sort of segueing away from Eurovision and into sort of Eurosong, You talked about obviously that you just put the idea out there of doing Eurosong and then it kind of gained traction and you went for it. Is Eurosong something that you would want to pursue more than once, or are you seeing this as kind of like just a one-time thing and see how it goes?
I've never been asked that. I don't know. Is the honest answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, is the honest. I have no idea what's gonna happen. So, I suppose I would only, I think, be really able to answer that question after we've done it. I think I'm only at the very early stages of this whole kind of, where it was announced like a few days ago, and you know, it's all the kind of, but like when we perform and on the night and see how everything works, and it's only until I do that and I fully do something that I'd be able to comment on whether we would do it again if we weren't the ones to be picked.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a see how it goes and then kind of regroup from there kind of thing. Yeah, definitely. I guess speaking of that as well then, how's it going so far? Because obviously you've been super busy with rehearsals and all of that kind of stuff. So how's it going?
It's been going really good. It's been like a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
A lot of like organization, a lot of rehearsals, promo, everything like that. Which, you know what, it's been really fun. Everyone is like incredibly nice and incredibly kind. Anyone I've spoke to, I've really enjoyed the process of, as you mentioned before, no one knows the Eurovision like you guys, and it's like I'm really enjoying the process of getting to know so much more about it.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I've always loved it, and I would watch it, and I would follow the artists. But that's kind of like, that's my knowledge of the, you know, so I'm learning all the time.
So to actually be in the thick of it is something completely different then.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But it's been good. It's really exciting. I feel like we've toured for like the last 3 or 4 years. We've put out EPs and songs, and you know, it's been amazing. But I'm always like, I always look for a challenge in my life, for good or for bad. I don't know. But I like to just constantly push myself and challenge myself and try and do different things and never stay in my comfort zone. And that's why I really wanted to do this, because I thought it'd be something so different for us. And it is. It's a totally new world. But it's a world I'm very happy to be in right now. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
That's great. So you talked about obviously putting out EPs and touring, and obviously we know that Wild Youth have toured with a lot of different acts, including Niall Horan, Lewis Capaldi, Westlife. It could be out of those guys, but it could be out of anyone. Who's been your favorite sort of act that you've worked with, and why?
Well, the script, they all have their own kind of thing. Lewis is obviously Lewis. He's
the
best guy ever. Best guy ever. Niall's amazing. Such a kind guy and lover of music and lover of Irish music. Then the script, I was working with quite closely at the time. I was writing with them a lot.
Oh yeah.
So it was quite cool because we were touring and we were writing at the same time. So I was very like work. You know, it was like, and that was very cool. And then Westlife was like insane because we probably played some of our biggest shows ever with Westlife. Like we did like stadiums. And we did Croke Park, which is like our national stadium, which I grew up like, I think my dad grew up like 2 minutes away from there. And then I grew up like 5 minutes away from there. So our whole life has been in that area, and you drive by it every day, and that's your dream to play. So they all have their own. But all in all, we just love playing shows, and every opportunity we get to be in front of a crowd is amazing for us, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. It's really weird. Like I found out, so my youngest brother lives in China, and I found out the other day that Westlife are massive in China.
Like huge. Like
yeah.
please escort.
I had no idea. So like he was saying that like he was round at his girlfriend's house and she was like, oh, can I put some music on? And he was like, yeah, sure. And she put some Westlife on, and he was like, wait, what? Like, I know who these guys are. Obviously, I know who these guys are. It's Westlife.
Yeah. It's like, It's like police escorts big.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had no idea until he told me on Zoom the other day, and I was like, "What?
yeah,
That's crazy."
crazy.
Yeah. So obviously sidestepping away from Westlife and back to you and your obviously your song We Are One, which you're sending to Eurosong. How did you know that We Are One was the song that you wanted to send to Eurosong to potentially represent Ireland?
I think in my head I had an idea of the kind of song that if we were to send a song for Eurosong, I had an idea of how I could hear it. I
Yeah.
can always kind of like slightly hear something in my head before I actually go to write it. Like I know what the sounds will be and sonically kind of how it will be in my head. And I'd written other songs and they were kind of in a similar world. Um, but I just felt this one kind of just felt right for me, I think. I wanted to create that like modern sounds, but also make sure that it remained a band, so it wasn't like too modern. Because if you go too electronic, then it's not a band anymore, you know. And I wanted
Yeah.
to incorporate the live sounds of the band with modern sounds. Um, so yeah, I mean, I hope I did that. I
Yeah.
mean, if it was to be super modern, it would probably just be all electronic or all band. So it's like trying to just combine the two and try and make it as best I could.
So you almost wanted to go for something, it seems like that was more like anthemic live band feel than
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
pop song per se.
I wanted to write a song that felt big enough for a stage of that size, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And I wanted to write it, and I wanted if the kind of lyrical content of the song was loosely kind of based around thoughts and things that I'd said to people about the Eurovision and that whole feeling that happens on the night of the Eurovision and the acceptance, you know, whether you're black or white or you're gay, you're straight, or you're trans or whatever you are, everyone is equal.
Yeah.
Everyone's treated the same. There's no judgment. You wear what you want, you do what you want, you sing what you want, you perform how you want. And everyone is okay with that. No one is like, and I love that. And I think a lot of the world could really learn from that. And you know, even the countries. I've said this probably in every interview, and I'll probably continue to say it in every interview. But because I think it's so amazing, every country like waving flags of other countries and supporting other countries, even though they're
Yeah.
competing against each other. And it's like such an amazing thing. And it's like tonight we are one. It's like if we like that feeling in that arena is so incredible. And sorry, not the arena, but it for the Eurovision, that feeling. I felt if I was to try and capture that, what I was trying to say in a song, it felt it had to be anthemic and it had to be a big kind of celebration, kind of everyone singing together, you know, and that's kind of also being Irish and growing up and, you know, being around my dad. It was like you would go to pubs, you would go to different places. It was always the same song. It was always, everyone in Ireland was always like singing together. And that's kind of the end of the song is like that like chant, and it's like it's almost like a choir of people, but it's not not a choir of people because it's not mapped out vocals. It's just like everyone singing, and I want to recreate that feeling. So
You've talked about sort of everyone sort of coming together and being accepting of everyone regardless of their sort of background or identity. Would you say that that's your favorite thing about Eurovision, or is there something else that you would say that you really like about the
I
contest?
love that. I love the styling. I think like I'm such a huge fan of like clothes.
Yeah.
It's like it's like music and fashion. It's like it's
Yeah.
very close. I love the staging. I love the scale of everything.
Yeah.
I love everything big. You know what I mean? It's like New York's like big lights. It's like Times Square. Like everything on a big scale. I've got like really bad ADHD, so it's like I get like sidetracked. So I'm like I just want to see the big lights all the time. You know. So yeah, I suppose everything really.
So you talked about obviously liking everything big, and obviously
I
Eurovision.
also, sorry to cut across you, but I
No,
also
it's fine.
I love the ranges of genre. It's like you've no idea what's going to come out next. Like
Yeah.
if you are not totally invested in the Eurovision, but you watch the Eurovision. So for people who might not know what entries are before the competition happens,
Yeah, they're just tuning on the final.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've no idea what you could get.
Yeah, genuinely one of my favorite things as like a fairly hardcore Eurovision fan is all of my friends who basically tune in on the Saturday just texting me going, whoa, what is going on? Like, who is
Yeah.
this? Like, I think my favorite last year for that was Serbia, the one with the woman washing her hands.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh my
I
god.
knew that song and I knew that was coming, but all my friends who just casually watch it with their mates on a Saturday were like,
Did that song
AJ,
do
what
really
is
well?
going on? Yeah, it came fifth.
But I think it did really well after the Eurovision too.
Yeah, it was pretty big in Serbia where it's from as well. Like it was a huge thing. But
Interesting.
but yeah, my friends were texting me like, what's going on? What is this about? And I was like, okay, sit down, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And genuinely that's one of the things that like as a fan is the most like fun to me is seeing
Where
everyone's
do you watch it?
reactions. So, well,
You
obviously this
go?
year I'll be going to Liverpool. Um, but normally I watch it like with friends who are also as obsessed with the contest as I am.
Okay, cool. So you have like a group in the UK, and
Yeah, and I have a friend
are
who
they all in
lives.
Sheffield or Wood?
No, so I mean, we have friends in Ireland, we have friends in Scotland, a lot of friends in England. But I have one friend who lives like 15 minutes up the road from me who also writes for Phoenix. So quite often I just walk to her house
Okay.
because she's only 15 minutes away. So it works. Or she comes
And
to
how
mine.
like are you in WhatsApp groups and everything?
Yeah, we have group chats on Twitter. So
They are like I'd say they
yeah.
explode.
Yeah, they really do. And I think that's as another thing as a fan is like one of my favorite things is sort of the fact that you just have met this like nice little community of people that like it as much as you do. And like you said about acceptance, like we're all from different backgrounds,
Yeah,
different ages, different identities, but we all have this one thing in common. And like,
absolutely.
and now we're just really good mates and we chat about everything, not even just Eurovision.
I
So
loved it. I loved it.
but yeah,
Amazing.
it's really nice. Like it's just a group of people that have come together off the back of that, really, and that's what
Amazing.
Phoenix kind of started at as well. So it's
That's
good.
so cool.
I guess obviously thinking about Eurosong, and you talked about liking everything big, and you know, obviously Eurovision is great for that kind of huge bombastic staging. The Late Late Show is obviously very different to that. So have you had any ideas about how you're going to sort of have to adapt things with those two very different
Yeah.
situations in mind?
Yeah. I think I've always it's like if I was given, let's say, a stage like the Eurovision stage and I feel that I can fulfill what's going on in my head, I'll spend every day. I'll draw every detail. I'm not like I'm so like people won't hear from me for days. You know, it's like but let's say if it is slightly more restricted, which you said, like the Late Late Studio is obviously much smaller.
Yeah.
The 6 acts it's on and off, and it's on the Late Late Show, so the show has to happen, and there's so many moving parts. And then it's obviously that I try and just simplify it a little bit for like that. I try and keep it still interesting, but I don't. With what's going on in my head and fireworks and everything, it's like if I try and pull off something of the scale of what's going on in my head, it's just gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, with fireworks, no.
People in the
studio.
audience just running for the
Yeah,
fire
yeah.
exit.
No, but you know what I mean. So I try and do like a taste of what I could imagine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The finishing product would be. It's like just a little kind of like
Like a little
just a,
sneak peek.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess as well, thinking about some of the other Eurosong entries that you're going to be competing against on the 3rd of February. Have you had a
Yeah.
chance to listen to them? Is there any that you really like in? Obviously, besides We Are One.
Yeah, I think they're all brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, it's exactly like what the Eurovision is. I think they're all different and they're all unique in their own way.
I feel
I
like
don't think
this year more than ever as well. Like they're all so diverse.
Yeah, it feels like there's something for everyone there. So that's why it's interesting, you know. I've listened to them all, they're all brilliant. Yeah, I mean, super talented.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a really good show, like regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss it because I'm actually busy that night. So
no.
I'm going to have to watch it on catch up or just sit in a corner and try and sneakily watch it on my phone, like one of the two.
Player.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did hear from a little birdie, maybe one who hosts Eurovision, and her name might be Lou, that if you vote with the Northern, you can vote with the Northern Irish number in the UK. So maybe I'll be giving that a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did strongly encourage me to do that. So
okay.
She's one in the group chat actually. So yeah,
her and Conor are both lovely.
Yeah, we're good mates with them. A lot of time for Lou and Conor.
Brilliant.
I guess wrapping it up then. I guess just to kind of finish this off, what are you most looking forward to, or what do you most want to take away from the Eurosong experience?
I just want to have fun, honestly. I think, you know, even being in a band through COVID, like, and not being able to do anything, I was like, I just wanted to try new things, and I wanted to challenge ourselves and put ourselves in different situations. And this is like one of them. And it's like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to overthink it. I want to just embrace it all. I don't want this to all pass and be like, wait, what happened? You know what I mean? I want to like be very present. I want to enjoy the process. I want to work super, super hard. I'm doing singing lessons every day. I'm training twice a day and rehearsals. It's like I really want to do this, and I want to. It's like a dream to play the Eurovision. Honestly, like it would mean anything. And if anyone wants to get behind it and support it, it would mean the world, because honestly, you'd be making us incredibly happy. And I feel that we could do amazing things for Ireland, and I feel we could have a lot of fun with it and make it a cool thing. So yeah, if you would like to vote, please do. And we're just gonna have fun and enjoy the process. We already are, so it's like we're just gonna keep doing that.
Definitely, and I think there are a lot of people that really will get behind you as well, and do agree that you could do really great things to, you know, get Ireland, you know, to the grand final. So best of luck with everything. Obviously we'll be tuning in to Eurosong and seeing how it goes. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of it. And, you know, maybe when it comes to Liverpool, we could do like an in-person interview if you get there.
Absolutely no problem.
Yeah, and yeah,
if we get to Liverpool, you can take my word for it that we'll do an in-person interview.
Yeah, and we'll show you the Euro Village. It'll all be good.
Oh yeah, I want to see it all. If we get to Liverpool, I'm like, I want everyone who goes every year and knows everything about the Eurovision to show me everything about the Eurovision.
Oh, definitely we will. We'll take you to the Euro Club and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
I want it even more now.
There you go, something to spur you on.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really great chatting with you. And yeah, like I said, good luck.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.